Perfect. All right, there we go. Um, well, I'm Alex Maturino. It's my pleasure to get us started in our first speaker series. It's my pleasure to welcome Alberto Lopez, a purchasing manager. And yeah, so how are you doing today, Alberto?
Fine. How about you?
I'm doing good. It was a long day, but it was my last Thursday class of the semester, so we're getting wrapped up and it's very exciting.
Excellent. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So I'll go ahead and get us kicked off on some of the questions. I only have 10 questions for you. Depending on how the audience is feeling, we can have a Q&A session at the end, but anyone listening in at now or later, please just drop in any question that you have. We can see from the chat. But thank you. All right, so first question, how was your experience moving to the United States?
Ah, well, at first it was a little scary because it all started, I was with IBM, and IBM offered me a job here in the RTP area. Initially, it was a temporary assignment. It was supposed to be only for 2 or 3 years. But then when I got here, it was they changed their mind and they wanted to do a permanent transfer, and so it was a little scary. Leaving family, leaving friends was a little scary. It was also challenging because, well, it's going to be a new culture, not just language, but a totally new culture, new friends, new environment, everything, different job. So it was challenging. At the same time, was a little encouraging from new job, getting a new house, and bringing the family. Um, my children were very little, so it was like, okay, this is going to be a great adventure,
Mm,
and eventually become very exciting. The job was excellent. The area, we loved the area. The schools for the children were very good. So pretty much scary, challenging, encouraging, and exciting.
that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Next question. How would you say that your background and where you came from shaped you into the person you are today?
Um, Big time. When you after my undergrad, once you get out of your undergrad, you are one more on the pile of a lot of professionals, and I wanted to be more than that. So I got my MBA. I went for a second master's degree, this time in project management. I went and started to look for certifications within my area of work. So it was on inventory management, on the supply chain. So I got my APIX CPIM certification, and then eventually I became certified as a purchasing manager by the Supply Chain Professional Organization. And at one point, I got a personal challenge to be a PMP, project management professional.
Hmm.
And with all of that, I was no longer one of many professionals. I was somebody that can offer more than just an undergrad. So I think all that background shaped me into a better and more exciting career.
That's good to hear. I love it. I think it's awesome that you decided to go back for a second master's, kind of differentiating yourself from everyone else, like you were saying. But were there any other specific reasons for why you chose to pursue that MBA or that second master's?
The main reason was to be more than stand out
Mm,
from the rest of the pack. I wanted to be not just a first line manager, but eventually become a second line or even a director level. So the only way to do that is to prove myself and to prove others that hey, I'm not just a professional. I have 2 master's degree. I have 4 certifications. So that was the main reason.
Cool. Thank you. And then I wanted to ask if you noticed any differences between the education systems in the United States and in Mexico, going like more specifically towards higher education, so comparing undergrad to graduate school.
In higher education, it's not that much different. I noticed it that during elementary, middle, and even high school, I think in Mexico it's a little more advanced. But the gap starts to get narrow, and when you get to college and grad schools are pretty much the same. I think they get to a point where, okay, now let's concentrate on a field, so you get more specialized and more specific studies, more specific subjects. So it's pretty much the same.
Okay, interesting. And then I saw that you served as the former president for Red Global MX, so I was wondering if you could explain what exactly the organization does and then what it was like serving as president and why you chose to run for president.
Yeah, sure. Well, when I heard the first time about the Red Global MX, and that it was a professionals network of Mexicans living outside of Mexico, I started to work with the then consulate of Mexico, and I told the consul is, okay, we gotta have our chapter here in Raleigh, and I said I have a few a small network of professionals that we can get it started. I invited them and explained to them, okay, this is what the Red Global MX is all about. I think we should be able to do it here in Raleigh. It's an opportunity for us to give back, to support our fellow Mexicans that are in the area, and make a difference, and make sure that global network have a chapter in the Raleigh area. So I started that, and as a founder, I was elected by my friends or my network to be the first president of the chapter. And then during the formation, we decided that, okay, this is something, the position as president should be something that we need to rotate and have every 2 years, have a different and fresh blood into the presidency. So that's how it all started. It started with 12 of us. We are now more than 25 professionals in the area. So that's how it all started.
Awesome. I would like to make the distinction for the viewers that Red Global MX is similar to ALPFA in the sense to where it's a professional network of Latinos in the workplace. And we just recently got involved with them, courtesy of Ben. Shout out to Ben in the chat. So thank you for the opportunity. But it's very similar, but it's a different national organization. But that's really cool to hear that you were the founding member and that you sought to like establish that community here, because it's definitely useful, and it started conversations like these, so it's still certainly valuable. And how was your experience being president and like founding the chapter here?
It was better than I expected. The drive and the enthusiasm that all my fellow Mexicans put into the projects that we started was just overwhelming. I mean, we started great projects. Today, we have an ongoing project about bilingualism, where we encourage everyone to if you already speak Spanish, or if you come from a family that speaks Spanish, don't lose it. Keep practicing. It's going to help you in the long run. We have projects where we did a sister cities between Durham and a city in Mexico. We're planning to do a second sisterhood very soon. We had different kind of projects where we're trying to give back and where we can support our fellow Mexicans from here. We're living outside of Mexico, but we still feel Mexico in our hearts. So we want to keep working on that.
That's awesome. I love that. I definitely think that's a great program to put on the sisterhood one. And then how would you say, how important was your network when it came to both your professional and non-professional life? So how did your network serve in your career?
I think that's incredibly important. We're not alone, and the more you maintain and increase your network, the better opportunities you have to accomplish things, to teamwork, and even to grow. So, for example, within the network, at some point, I had a mentor for my career within the company, but at the same time, I became a mentor for other friends where I can encourage them, guide them, and provide as much help as I can to help them grow. So it is very, very important to have a good network. Even on your personal life, having friends that you can trust, friends where you can share what's going on, and it's very important.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. And what would you attribute, like, where do you feel like you grew your network the most? Anywhere specific or any person that helped introduce you to a lot or organizations?
Well, sometimes it happens naturally just because you're a friend of a friend, then his friends become part of your network,
Yeah.
just pretty much like the social media. The more you increase your relationships, they happen natural. At work, you have to look for them. So when I got here, I had practically zero network within the company. I left everything behind in Mexico, so I had to start all over again. And the first thing was to find a mentor, somebody at a higher level that can tell me, okay, what should I do or what should I not do, especially in a different environment. Like at one point they told me, okay, be careful. In Mexico, you say hello to everyone, to every women with a kiss. You can't do that in the US. So I needed somebody that can tell me what to do and what to avoid. And at the same time, how to grow within the organization, the things that I should pursue to become eligible for higher positions, things like that. So finding a mentor was important.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've definitely tried to stress as much as possible, like the importance of a mentor. I have a few for like different aspects, like, for career and for life and stuff like that. And I just find like so much value in it. And so I definitely try to like encourage others to go out and look for a mentor and to like establish more mentor relationships and to like mentor others when possible. So definitely gonna like uplift that point because mentorship is just so awesome. Next question, what do you feel like is the most fulfilling part of your career?
Oh, I think the most fulfilling is when you become a mentor, when you start helping others to grow. That is very, very satisfying. I had employees that I hired and that are now managers, and I'm very proud of them because I help them grow in their career, in their professional, in some cases I was pushing them to, hey, you gotta get a master's degree. You gotta go for a to grad school, because right now you're one on a pile, and you got to stand out of the pack and offer something better. Higher education is very important.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I
Uh,
remember, oh, sorry, go ahead.
and other things that are very fulfilling is when at work they put you a challenge. And coming from the Latin American countries, we kind of inherited um, um, the lack of self-confidence. We're always afraid of starting something, and when they
Mhm.
give you a big challenge and you succeed, it's very, very rewarding. I mean, you feel so good about yourself and make a difference, and that lack of self-confidence becomes the opposite. It's like, yes, I can do this.
Yeah, very self-empowering.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Going back to the mentor point, I remember hearing in maybe a podcast or an audiobook or something like that, but like they were saying that people who have experience in positions, like they're honestly wasting their experience if they're not providing mentorship to others. Like, not only is it so valuable to that mentee, but it's also like it gives that person a chance to like be excited and to like be fulfilled. Like that was, it's what you mentioned first when it came to what's most fulfilling about your career. So it really does make an impact on both the mentor too. So
And I
definitely,
totally
that's
agree
awesome.
with that.
Hmm.
Not only you can share your experience and your knowledge, but also you can empower others to keep growing. You can make a difference on somebody's life. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's awesome. If you don't mind, I'd ask if you could maybe explain a little bit more on what exactly you do as a purchasing manager and then how to
Sure.
pronounce the name of your company, because I honestly don't know.
Well, we hear two different pronunciations. In English, the Meriu, the last part of the name is a last name. It's a family name in
Okay.
France, so they pronounce it Meriu. And the first part is because it's the biomedical portion of the big company.
Hmm.
So in English we pronounce the bio as bio, but in French they pronounce it bio. So the French pronunciation would be biomérieux, and in English we say it
Biomedical.
biomérieux.
Okay,
But
cool.
it's a French company. What I do as purchasing manager is basically I make deals for the company for everything that we buy. Right now, I have a new manufacturing site under construction in China. We recently finished a new manufacturing site in Salt Lake City. So, and using that as an example, and the construction of a new facility, it it required 35 different competitive bids, inviting 5 or 6 suppliers for this piece of the business, this piece of the construction, either the steel or the wood or the windows or the ceiling. And that's what we do. We find the best suppliers, we make the deal, we take care of the legal part, having a contract with all the protections for the company. So basically, you're doing business. You're negotiating and you are providing the best level of service, quality, and cost for the company on everything that we buy, either for the production of our products or for the operation of our manufacturing sites.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you for clarifying. Um, Now, one a little bit less formal of a question, but what do you like doing in your spare time? What are your hobbies?
In my spare time, when I came to the US with IBM, I learned that in this area, in this North Carolina area, everybody likes to either fish, hunt, or golf. I don't
Yeah.
like fishing. I don't like hunting. I didn't know how to play golf, so I started to play golf. And that um, itself, and especially when you walk, it's a good exercise. And the contact with the nature and being outdoors is great. So I enjoy playing golf. A few years ago, my son and my daughter got me into a couple of sports, biking and running,
Nice.
and I love swimming. So the three of us ended up joining or signing up for some triathlons.
Wow, really?
And, and I started to go on that to a point where you may remember when we had the Ironman here in Raleigh.
Hmm.
I did the Ironman twice. So it's long distance, very long distance. It's exhausting, um, but it's a check mark. Done.
Yeah, for sure. That's two like awesome hobbies that are pretty similar to mine. Um, my
One
grandpa,
thing that you've never
go on.
hear me saying that I'd like to do in my spare time is travel, because I
Um,
travel so much for work that no, anything but travel. I don't want to travel on my spare time.
yeah,
I get more than enough for work that
I get that.
uh, I don't want to travel on
Yeah,
my
you just
spare
want to sit
time.
back, relax, hit a few balls at the driving range, play out with some
There you
friends.
go.
Yeah, that's some good relaxation. Golf is definitely a fun hobby. I
It
definitely
is.
enjoy
It
golf.
is. I love it. I'm not good, but I love it.
Yeah, I get that. And then the last question that I have for you is, what advice would you give a college student? So, kind of directly talking to our student body, just what advice would you give if we're looking to get a career similar to yours or just getting a career in general?
The first one is never, never, never stop learning. If there's a class either online or in person at work, go for it. Attend the class. If you can and have the opportunity to go for a to grad school and get a higher degree, go for it. Um, the more you learn, the more you have to offer as a professional to any company.
That's good advice.
It's not only going on your resume, it's actually going on your capacity and your capabilities and what you have to offer. So that's the first one. The second is what we're just talking about. Find a mentor. Find a mentor that can give you advice, that can help you grow in your career and as a person, a mentor that you can go to when you have a question, when you want to find out, okay, how do I do this? How do I do that? Um, and last but not least is help others as well. Either become a mentor or even if it's a peer. Um, there's a misconception that if you help somebody to grow, it's going to play against you. That's not true. That's not true. When you help others to grow, you're growing.
Yeah, for sure.
Whatever you sow, that's what you're going to harvest. So if you sow um, competition or pushback or negativity, that's what you're going to harvest. But if you try to do teamwork, collaboration, and helping others, that's what you're going to get as well. So those would be my three advices: is never stop learning, help others, find a mentor.
That's great advice. Did you have that like already prepared, or was that off the top of the head?
No, it's my from the top of my head, and it's something that I tell my new employees, my children. Is like you got to find a mentor. I can't. And sometimes is I could be your mentor, but if you find something higher up, at one point you might be my manager. I mean, right now I am your manager, but I would love to see you become my manager. So
Yeah,
go
for
for it.
sure.
Learn as much as you can. Find a mentor and keep growing and help others to grow with you.
I love that. That's also very impressive that you had that off the top of your head. I love it. Um, I think to wrap it up, we had one question in the chat. Um, Ben is asking, did you always have an interest in life sciences slash biomedicine? And if so, what made you pursue the business side versus the scientific? Great question.
Very good question. No, I never had that in mind, to be honest with you. When I was at IBM, it was high technology. I grew up when the computers started. In fact, when I joined IBM, it was the time when we had just a terminal, and you have to sign up for a period of time to use it because everything was manual. And then went through all the evolution when we started to get, okay, for the first time, we're going to get a personal computer. And we had disks, 5.25 disks that can hold 512 KBs. It's like, wow. And all the way to now, laptops is a tool that everybody carries. So I grew up on technology, but when I retired from IBM after 30 years of service, I was allowed to retire, and that's when I got one of the headhunters called me to offer me this job, and he's the one that told me, "Hey, you can retire from IBM and come join us." I'm like, "Can I do that?" I checked with HR, and they told me, "Yeah, you have 30 years of service with IBM. You can retire, get your pension, and keep working on somebody else." I'm like, okay, yes, I'll do that. Double dipping. And what I like about this company is the mission is to save lives. So it's something that, like, okay, these are my last 10 years of my career before I fully retire. And I'm going to be helping saving lives? Yes, let's do that. I didn't know anything about life science business. But I knew practically everything about supply chain and purchasing. So I decided to give it a try, and I love it. I love it.
For sure. That's so awesome. I love that mission. Um, so that's everything I have for you. Thank you so much for your time and the conversation. I really appreciated it. I feel like I definitely learned a few things slash affirmed a few things. So I hope that our audience has the same. But thank you so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Me too, and I look forward for a good relationship between ALPFA and the Red Global, because that's going to be for the grow and a successful career of professionals from our countries. So
Yes, sir.
looking forward for it.
Of course. Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Take
I'll see you
care.
later.
Stay safe.
Yeah, of course. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.